Hello, my name's Helen Howe. I've worked at Christian Aid for about 6 years now, and I just wanted to take a few minutes today to thank you for your support in the past and tell you a little bit more about this year's appeals. Firstly, a massive thank you. £12,000 raised over the last 2 years to support our work in northwest Syria, and that's made a difference in so many lives. Never has it been such a challenging time for international development, and that's reflected in this year's appeals. We started the year asking you to support our work with orphans and vulnerable children in Kenya. Around 1.2 million children in Kenya have been orphaned by HIV and AIDS, and 160,000 are living with the virus. Only half have access to antiretroviral treatment. When you compound this with the high levels of poverty and lack of access to basic services such as healthcare, many of these children do not have the treatment and support they need and deserve. I want to thank you first for the over £2,000 you've raised to support our work with these children. Christian Aid is working with expert local partners to help improve the health and treatment of these children, supporting the households they call home to become economically resilient, and strengthening the systems designed to protect them. We hope to run this project until the end of 2022, but unfortunately last month we had notification that the main funder, USAID, would be withdrawing funding a year early. We unfortunately have no other option than to close this programme in July. The money donated can still be used to help the final stage of this programme, and although it's hugely disappointing for all of us, we are reassured to hear from the programme team that the impacts will be limited, as the project was always built in a way which prepared us for sustainability and exit, and we'd already exited the project in some regions prior to the announcement, so we are confident that the impact on the beneficiaries can be minimised. It's unfortunately an indication of the environment in which we are operating in. Whilst we have together been making huge inroads to tackle extreme poverty, with rates halving over the last 30 years, COVID has had huge impacts. And in the last year, we have not only seen extreme poverty rise for the first time since the mid-90s, but we've also seen funding of international development cut. This is all happening whilst the very poorest try to tackle both the impacts of climate change and the global pandemic. In fact, the work we were doing with orphans in Kenya was becoming harder and harder to implement, as Kenya is struggling with rising number of COVID cases and the health system is struggling to deal with the high number of infections. So in light of all these events, we're asking you to reflect and consider if you would support a new appeal, our coronavirus appeal. We're asking you to give thanks as you receive your own vaccine and help our brothers and sisters across the world who lack the basics they need to protect themselves, like clean water for hand washing. I'm sure many of you have felt joyful and relieved as you, your friends or your family receive the vaccine. This is such a long way off for so many. They need our support, both to campaign for fair access to vaccines and to help them with the basics, such as awareness raising and testing, hand washing and emergency food support. Your gift could be used to provide clean water, community hand washing, much needed PPE, hygiene kits or food packages for those in desperate need. We're also campaigning for equal access to vaccines across the globe, and when vaccination campaigns begin, Christian Aid will support by equipping local health services with data on hard to reach communities, mobilising communities to come forward for vaccination, and working as we did with Ebola with faith and community leaders to share those positive messages about vaccines. And those much needed funds are going to support where the need is greatest, so we're already directing huge amounts of funding towards the situation in India, as I'm sure you've seen the terrible situation on your screens. So please donate. You can do that this year through the CF website. We can also still accept cheques, donations, so please reflect and take this appeal to your churches and see if they will support it too. Help us bless those for whom the hope of receiving a vaccine seems so very distant. And finally, can I also ask if you can help promote Christian Aid Week? It's the 10th to the 16th of May. Funds raised here are unrestricted, so they help us respond to the most urgent needs. You can support Christian Aid Week by taking a collection in church, using our e-envelopes. You can do online events, or you can join our 300,000 Steps in May challenge. There's more information on the website, and if you need any support at all, please email us. Email us at hello@christian-aid.org. We're here to help you be the change you want to see in the world. Thanks again for making a difference and bringing hope to so many.